Welcome to Beyond the Helmet. I'm your host, Steve McGrath, and from the jump, I'm going to ask you if there's ever one episode that you share or talk about with someone, let it be this one, because I need you to know the story of Ausar Walcott. In 2013, Ausar was an undrafted rookie free agent out of the University of Virginia. He signed with the Cleveland Browns, had what he thought was going to be a crack at the NFL ahead of him, and just a couple days later, an incident happens. Ausar is charged with attempted murder in something that would ultimately be found to be an altercation that was self-defense. It takes 5 years of him to actually have the trial start, go all the way through its conclusion where he's found not guilty. And in that 5-year period, he has absolutely no chance of playing in the NFL. So in the couple years that he's had since his name has been cleared, he's worked to try to get back in the league. But as of June 13th, just a couple days ago, he had a chance to go to the ANC Combine, and he's working, doing everything he can to finally get his chance in the NFL after he cleared his name from an instance where he did nothing wrong. It is a wild story. I'm rooting for him all the way, and I hope that you can help spread this message so that more people know of him, know what he's gone through, and can help root him on. So now, without any further ado, here's Ausar Walcott and his story and what he's looking forward to next. All right, I am pleased to be joined by Ausar Walcott. How are you doing today, man?
Good. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, thanks. And Ausar, your story is quite unlike anything that I've had a chance to ever really get a chance to dive into and talk to. So thank you very much for taking the time. I'm really looking forward to unpacking here the incredible journey that you've been on.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to use this platform to share it.
Of course. So for anyone that isn't familiar with what you're doing right now, you are gearing up to make a run at getting back into the NFL. So particularly with everything COVID related, I'm sure it's been tough to get in the same work the way that you would have imagined you would be doing it. But just tell everyone, what you've been doing and what's on the horizon for you.
So now, I've been training for this pro day combine that I have coming up on Saturday. So, I've been specifically training for my 40-yard dash, shuttle, L drill, bull jump, and things like that. And, I'm trying to make this comeback. I want to show teams that I still have the speed, still have the explosiveness in me. And, I just want to get out there and give 110%.
Yeah. And sorry, I had to pull down my calendar for a second. So today's June 10th, Saturday is the 13th. Sadly, I had to look that up because I didn't know off the top of my head.
Yep, Saturday the 13th, correct.
But it is literally just a few days away. So you're feeling pretty good? You're still going to be running in the 4.5s again?
Well, I'm shooting. Me and my trainer, what we've been training for, we're shooting for 4.4s. So that's what I want. That's what I want to get. I believe that in order for me to get a look at it with a team, for any team to even turn their head and give me a shot, I have to be outstanding. So I'm shooting. I'm shooting 4.45, 4.44.
Awesome. And is the goal to
Yeah, high 4.4s I'm shooting for.
And is the goal to come back playing defensive end still, or because I know over the course of time you kind of switch from safety to linebacker to D end?
I'm a linebacker. When I was with Cleveland, I was a linebacker. I'm a linebacker.
Got it. Now, this isn't the first time, from what I could see, that you've tried to get NFL teams' attention. Going back a couple of years, I think in 2017, you had gone on the same journey. What's different this time around for you, and why are you so much more confident, this time that this is going to be what actually works, and you're able to finally break in?
Well, I never had the opportunity as far as what I'm having on Saturday, as far as the ANC Combine. When I was trying to get back, they ended the regional combine, and the regional combine was the combine where guys that didn't get to go to the NFL combine would participate in the regional, and that was ran by NFL scouts, and this is what that is, the ANC. So it's going to be ran by NFL scouts and guys like that. So I'm actually going to be seen by a scout NFL teams and things like that. In 17, I didn't have any of those opportunities. So what I was doing was going to these different little combines that weren't really scouts didn't really know too much about them. This one here, with this opportunity, they actually know about this one.
Got it. All right. So it's definitely like a bigger stage, bigger spotlight on it.
Right.
Now, to back this up, right? Because you mentioned your time with the Browns. I want to take the time to lay out the full story for how we get here today. So I know I'm going to be skipping over a bunch of things. So please help fill in the holes. But to lay the stage, 2013, you're going undrafted out of the University of Virginia after you're there for 4 years. You get a chance to sign with the Cleveland Browns. If that's more or less correct, can you just sort of start your story as to how things sort of get derailed so we're in this position today?
Yes. 13, I started with the Cleveland Browns, and I came home for a vacation. Ended up going to a party, and ended up being a huge fight inside the party. And on my way trying to make it out, I was hit. I was struck in the back of the head. Almost fell down to the ground, but I caught myself when I regathered myself. I ended up throwing a punch back, and the kid ended up hurting himself, but when he fell, and like I said, it was a huge fight going on, so I didn't even get to see the kid even fall and hurt himself because there was so much going on. I was just trying to protect myself and get out of there. That was in 13. I ended up going to trial in 2017. So this whole time, those 5 years, no one got to hear my side of the story and know that it was self-defense until I went to trial. I took the stand. He took the stand. The witnesses took the stand, and I was found not guilty because they took the stand and everyone told the truth that I was struck first, almost fell to the ground, and then I got up and defended myself, and I was found not guilty on all charges.
So to fill in a gap there, you are charged. So if I have this right, you sign a contract with the Cleveland Browns. A day later, this happened. So I mean, you literally just get a chance to get a real taste of.
It was about like 3 or 4 days after.
Okay, just a couple days. But when that happens, you actually, if I read this right, you get charged with attempted murder.
Yeah.
Now, how do you deal with knowing that you defended yourself and then you get charged with something that is obviously going to change your life? I mean, how do you just take that?
I mean, it was hard. I mean, I went through a lot. I went through a lot of depression. I had to talk to a psych, things like that. I mean, it was the roughest time of my life. I had children. It was just hard. I just had to continue to fight through it. I'm a strong person. I knew that I didn't do anything wrong. I defended myself, so I wasn't going to opt out or cop out and take a plea, anything like that, because I knew I was innocent. So I chose to go all the way through with it, so that the world and people can know that I was defending myself. And I mean, it was hard, but I prayed, and I stayed. I kept my feet down on the ground, and I knew I didn't do anything wrong. So that's the fuel that kept the fire going.
And when this is happening, right? I mean, essentially, I'd have to imagine that it feels like your entire world is crumbling around you.
Yeah.
Where was
Yeah.
did and if I have this right, the Cleveland Browns, essentially released you, very early into the process. Is that right?
Yes.
To have the team just completely bail on you, I mean, that had to be a devastating blow. Was there anyone, whether it's professional or family, I mean, who was there for you for support during this 5-year ordeal?
Of course, my family, my mom, she's always there for me. She's a wonderful woman. She was there heavily for me. My stepfather was there for me. He's been married to my mom for over 10 years now. He was there for me. I had brothers and sisters that were there for me, my friends. The community, they got behind me, where I'm from and things like that. So I had some support, and things like that. I didn't get through it on my own. I don't believe I would have been able to get through that on my own.
I mean, for the community to get behind you, I have to feel like, there has to be a little bit of a track record there of you being a good person, right? That doesn't just happen, for people to be like, oh, no, we believe them. Um, what did you, were you surprised by anyone not showing up to be on your side? Or were there people that, surprised you for being there throughout the entire situation?
Honestly, my mom raised me to be to be, a stand-up guy, a respectful man. So I wasn't surprised from, the cops in my town and everybody, my old teachers writing letters and the cops writing letters. I wasn't too surprised about that because, throughout my career, high school career and collegiate career and things like that, I always treated people with respect. I always treated, the adults with respect, my teammates with respect, and things like that. I would treat the janitor the same as I would treat the athletic director, with the same respect and things like that. So, everybody knew my character and everybody knows what type of person I am. So, they all came forward to express that because, a lot of people thought and a lot of people knew that what they would charge me with and what was going on wasn't the right thing.
Yeah, and obviously in the end that shines through. But can you just talk? Not that I want you to take me through your darkest moments during that time, but during those times, what were you doing to just keep yourself focused and to get your mind as right as you possibly can? Because I'm sure over that many years, there's going to be really tough times.
Yes. Honestly, there's not one specific thing that I was doing exactly. I'm sorry. There is one specific thing I was doing. I prayed a lot. That got me through a lot of things. But I can't really pinpoint one specific thing that I did because, every day was a roller coaster. So, you had to adapt and, figure out new things that could, get you through that day or whatnot. But one thing that I could say that I did a lot was, I prayed a lot.
So when you're finally acquitted, and this is officially something that you can put behind you, was there any communication with the Cleveland Browns? Like, hey, you guys that abandoned me right after this happened, now that I've been proven innocent, like, are you going to give me a shot? Was there any communication with them?
No, there wasn't any communication with them, because it was 5 years later. So as an adult, I understand that this is business. I don't believe anything has anything personal against me. I know that it's business. So, after that's any player, they're out for the game for 5 years. It's that's 5 years of new guys coming in. You know what I mean? So, I wasn't anybody, and no one from the organization reached out to me about that. But I understood that because I understand that this is a business, and it's not personal. So I just looked at the situation the same way. It's a business, so let me do my part to try to get back.
Right. Yeah, and hey, good for you for not feeling like you were entitled to anything. But I just feel like
No.
for an organization to do that, it's not a good look. I'm sure they felt the pressure of Aaron Hernandez and everything happening on that front, coinciding with what was
Yeah,
happening with you. Just
that was another thing that was sorry to cut you off. That was another thing that played a major part with the
yeah,
media. It happened the same day as Aaron Hernandez, so they broke my story with Aaron Hernandez story the same day on ESPN, and all they titled it was Aaron Hernandez and Ausar Walcott charged with murder and attempted murder. So you could run with that, and you can make any type of story that you want with that. You know what I mean? So that didn't help me out at all. But yeah, like you said, there was a lot of pressure from the Aaron Hernandez situation as well.
yeah. Just talking about tough timing. You got lumped in with them. I mean, a complete uphill battle from the start. It almost didn't matter what had happened from a pure PR perspective.
Yeah, it's just doesn't go around.
So the second that this is behind you and you actually can focus on your future, is the first thought, hey, I want to try to get back out there? Because it's been, a couple of years now. How much have you had to think about, well, I kind of missed 5 years. What else should I be trying to work on to, help myself out with the future?
Yeah, I thought that as soon as I was acquitted, I tried my best to get back right away. I made sure I stayed in shape and things like that. So if the time came around and, opportunity prevailed itself, that I'll be prepared. But, I didn't have that opportunity at that time, but, I do now. So, I'm trying to take full advantage of the opportunity that's in front of me on Saturday and just give it my all.
Absolutely. Now, if I had this right, did you have any other incidents when you were at Virginia in terms of Any other arrests or trouble with the team?
Yeah, there was like a racial incident where at JMU a couple of frat guys were calling me and a couple of my teammates the N word and throwing cans and bottles and stuff at us like that. And one of the guys on my team ended up reacting to the bottle hitting him and stuff like that. So I was there, a lot of times guilty by association, but I didn't fight anybody or do anything. I was just there, so that's why I was able to stay in school because the kid said, pointed out who hit him, and it wasn't me. So, I was able to stay in school.
So just having like the smallest blip on your record like that, where a team can easily see that when they're doing their due diligence on you.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that also was just enough for teams to, or a team, almost specifically the Browns here, for them to be like, you know what, he's already had some stuff, so essentially, we're going to write him off.
Yeah, of course. It's business, so they don't personally know me. They're just reading what they see on their report and things like that. When I went through that process, going to the NFL, you get interviewed a lot, and they almost they have detectives that investigate you before they turn you in. They know everything about you. You know what I mean? So once teams and and coaches got a chance to know me and talk to me and see what type of person I was and ask me about the situation and this and that, I think they had a good enough judgment to know that, those things that happen, that's not me. That doesn't define me. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate to even ask, but I mean, did you feel like any part of this, a part of your whole story, uh, has anything to do with race? Whether it's the way that the Cleveland Browns looked at you, this prior incident, which obviously is very much racial charge, and then just the current environment today, where it's on the top of every conversation. Do you feel like that had anything to do with how anything has played out?
no, I never felt that the Cleveland Browns were, racially profiling me or anything like that. When I was there, it was nothing but love. When I was there, from the coaches, the players, I don't believe that they ever looked at me I don't believe they ever looked at me like that. I don't know, but that's not the feeling that I got from the situation. I didn't go back and talk to them after, but like I said, I believe it was a business thing. I think they kind of had no choice but to go their separate way because of the situation and how the media portrayed what was going on. I don't think race had anything to do with it. As far as me not, as far as them, re-signing me or anything like that. Now, as far as my whole situation of what happened here in New Jersey with the cops and them not doing an investigation and them, just charging me right off the bat with attempted murder, and my lawyers and we did research on other incidents that happened like this, and people weren't charged with that. And there actually was an incident with a guy and an NFL guy. He was a tight end with the Seahawks, and in Seattle he had the same situation, and the cops didn't charge him with attempted murder, and he was able to get right back into the NFL. So I don't know exactly if it was a racial thing as far as with the cops and things like that. I don't know that specifically. All I do know is that there wasn't a proper investigation. The job wasn't done correctly. To be charging, a 22-year-old kid or whatever with attempted murder after he was struck in the back of the head, falling to his knees, getting up and defending himself. I think that you should investigate on that and see what happened. I don't think that they did their job, fully to 100% the way you're supposed to do your job. I just think they said, "Oh, this guy NFL, boom, attempted murder." So I think, because of my status, maybe, who knows? They, want to set an example or this or that. I don't know, but I honestly, truly don't know with the cops if it had anything to do with race. But I do know that the job wasn't done correctly, because when I went through trial and my lawyer and other cops and things like that, and even the cops, the detectives had to take the stand, and they're clearly saying and it's clearly proven, and people clearly know that they didn't do a full investigation before they charged me, which is that, but.
Wow. I mean, do you ever just think about what if I didn't go there that night? How much different
Oh
life
yeah,
would have
of
been?
course. Oh, of course. I tore. Almost, at a point was, destroying myself thinking like that, because, what if, living in the past, what if I did this one, what if I did that, but it happened. So, after a while, I started to think, how do I get through what I'm going through right now? Let me stop thinking about what if, and let me get through what I'm going through right now, so that, my future could be better. So I stayed positive throughout the situation, and not so much trying to think about what if, but what do I do now?
Yeah, the what if game is a no-win game.
Yeah, that's a no-win game. I gotta play mind tricks with you all day. It's no.
For sure. And man, I got to say, I'm a little surprised that you are as upbeat and positive as you've been this entire time, because this is something that would take most people out completely. There's no coming back from it.
For sure. I mean, I've witnessed guys losing, the game of football, and them not knowing what to do after, and it resulting into, jail and death. I've seen that. So, I'm blessed to be able to have gotten through what I got through.
So, to bring it back to today and all the training and everything that you've done to get ready, at the end of the day, if for whatever reason things don't align up with the NFL right away, are you going to be looking to the CFL or, other leagues? I'd say the XFL or, anything, but, XFL just kind of went away. Are you open to doing anything else?
Definitely. I want to play ball. I want to get some film. I want to get back on the field, and I'm blessed for every opportunity that I have. So anything, any opportunity that I have that's given to me, I'm gonna be more than thankful for it. Whether it's NFL, CFL, XFL, any of those leagues, I'm just gonna be happy to play the game again.
Hey, well, if nothing else, you can make that everyone's going to know that you might have a little bit of rust, but you don't have as much wear and tear as most guys your age. So you absolutely
No,
have that going for you.
Not at all. And even before I stopped playing, I never had a major injury, no surgeries, no torn ligaments, anything like that. So, my body is 110% ready to go.
Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to see what happens on Saturday, and hopefully it's a major step forward and what is a major comeback.
Thank you, and I appreciate that, and I'm thankful, and I thank you for allowing me to use this platform to tell a little bit of my story so people can know who Ausar is, and what I got, what I have going on, and my vision and my goals and things like that. It's truly a blessing to be able to do that.
Of course, and one thing before we wrap up here, I'd like to ask you, just because when you first started playing, I think you were a safety, you moved down to linebacker, down to DN, back up to linebacker, and as you get ready now, how much does that help you? Because you're used to seeing the field at so many different levels. How much does that make your life easier trying to get back into the swing of things and sort of picking an avenue?
Oh yeah, no, it definitely makes things a lot easier. I mean, it helped me out through my whole career. I mean, I played all three levels at the college level. I played safety, linebacker, and DN. So it's helped me tremendously, because not only physically, being able to physically do a lot, backpedal, break, rush the passer. Not only being able to do the physical things, but mentally, it's taking my game to a new level, because when I'm at backer, I know exactly what the guys in front of me are doing, and I know exactly what the guys behind me are doing. So that gives me a better chance to know where I have to fit in on the defense to make a play, or where I have to help, or what I have to do, because I know what's going on with the defense. I know that my safety is filling on my right hand side. I know that my D tackle may be stunting to the left. So, I need to come straight downhill and take a proper angle So I know all that type of stuff because I played on every level, so.
Yeah, seeing how the whole thing comes together, it certainly is going to make it easier. Well, also to get you out of here, I always ask my guests to go through this little thing I call the gauntlet. It's just a couple quick hitter questions that I want your knee jerk reaction on.
Okay.
What's most important? Is it having the number one offense or the number one defense?
Number one defense.
Now, do you have a favorite football memory to date?
Favorite football memory, strip sack against Penn State to win the game.
It's pretty good. Now, is there one guy you just, and I know there's big things coming, but to date, is there one guy that you just would have wished you would have had a chance to line up with and play with?
One guy I wish I could have played with?
Yeah.
Sean Taylor.
Pretty hard to beat that. Now, you've gone through some ridiculous, monumental setbacks in terms of mental setbacks throughout this process. And, to have gotten as far as you did in the NFL as an athlete, to have worked your way through this, I just want to ask you in closing, man, what's the best piece of advice that you would give?
What's the best piece of advice I would give? I would say, if you truly love something and you truly want to do something in life, I would say never let anything or anybody discourage you from doing that, because everybody thinks that they know you, but truly you're the only one that truly knows yourself, and you're the only one that truly knows if you can accomplish that goal. So if people doubt you, or they may be questionable about what you're doing, continue always to believe in yourself, because you're the only one that truly knows if you're truly capable of doing that. And if you're thinking that you're truly capable of doing that in your head, then more than likely you're capable of doing it. And the only reason why sometimes you may not think that you are is because the energy or the vibes that you may be receiving from other people telling you that you're not capable of doing it. So, like for me, instance, I'm trying to, I want to get back into the NFL. I want to play again. I know personally that I can play. I can be on that field. I'm sure there are people out there that believe that I can't play anymore. That it's been a long time. I can't play. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I'm not as explosive, but I truly am the only one that knows my capabilities. So I will never let any of that stuff get me down. If I want something, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do the proper things that I need to do to succeed, to get to that point. And I would also say, just pray on it, and, you put the work in, you do everything you have to do, you say your prayers about it, and, you can be able to sleep good at night.
There you have it. From someone who is as mentally strong as anyone I've talked to, Ausar, thank you so much for taking the time to tell your story, and we'll have to do this again sometime, update everyone with how your journey goes from here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me, be able to tell it.
Of course. We'll talk soon.
Okay.